Good morning, students. And today we are going to see a new chapter, genetics. Genetics. What is genetics? Genetics is a study of genes, we can say. Genetics is a study of heredity. Okay, what is heredity? Heredity is a transfer of characters from the parents to the offspring, to the children. How these characters are being transferred from the parent to the offspring. You are resembling your parents, your aunt, your grandparents. How these resemblances you are getting? How these characters are transferred from generation to generation. All these we will come across in this genetics. So when we study the structure of chromosomes, we come across a term nucleotide. The nucleotides which are responsible for production of a particular protein is called genes. So these genes are responsible for transfer of character from the parent to the offspring. We are discussing about all these genes, heredity, just because of a person, one who played a very important role in the field of genetics, Gregor John Mendel. He is called as father of genetics. He lived in a monastery and there he was maintaining a garden. In his garden, he found many variations in the same varieties among the plants. So he started wondering how these variations, maintenance is the same, manure is the same, watering process is same, but still the differences are there. Why it's like that? He started doing some experiment. On the basis of Mendelian experiment only, we are studying now genetics. He forms a basic law of genetics. Next class, we are going to see his experiment. Okay? We have seen the previous class. What is genetics? What is heredity? What are genes? And who is the father of genetics? And he started an experiment. Now we are going to see his experiment. Okay? He selected a particular plant variety for his experiment. Garden pea. Pisum sativum, garden pea. He selected this plant because the lifespan is short and quickly we can get the yield. Number of characters we can get in the same plant which can be selected. Okay. He selected first one character, the height. He found tall plants, dwarf plants and medium sized plants. All the three types he found. So he selected one tall plant and one dwarf plant. He collected the pollen grains of the tall plant and kept the stigma of the dwarf plant. Pollen grains, stigma and you came across last year, reproduction in plants. So this is artificial pollination he did. Then the dwarf plant, pollination over, fertilization over, it yield seeds. He collected the seeds from the dwarf plant. Okay. So tall plant and dwarf plant. He collected the seeds and sown the seeds. the plants that he got from those seeds, all the plants are tall. Not even one plant is dwarf. No medium size also. All tall plants only. So, in the F1 generation, he got tall plants. The character tallness is expressed in the next generation. So, he called it as a dominant character. Since it is dominating the dwarfness, it is called as dominant character. This dominant character, he used capital letters. Okay, tall. The word tall starts with T. So, he gave capital T, the same character only now. So, this one is recessive character, small t, small t. The character which has been suppressed in the F1 generation is called recessive character. The character which is expressed in F1 generation is called dominant character. Okay. So, why 2T he has given? Because the genes are seen in pairs. Okay. And one gene, both the gene may be dominant. Sometimes one gene may be, see here, one gene is dominant, one gene is recessive. So these are called, he called them as factors. Afterwards, he gave the term alleles. Okay. Pair of characters which are pair of genes which are responsible for production of a particular character. In this F1 generation, he got all the tall plants. Then he self this F1 generation. Self in the sense, self-pollination. Collecting the pollen grain of a flower and they keep pollen grain on the stigma of the same flower. Self-pollination. And he collected the seeds in the F2 generation. In the F2 generation, he found tall plants as well as dwarf plants. The dwarfness, the character dwarfness is suppressed in F1 generation, expressed in F2 generation. So he tried to explain it with the help of a checkerboard. Okay. So what he did, in F1 generation, capital T, small t, he got tall plant, F1. And when he set the tall plant, F1 tall plant is called as a hybrid. This tall plant is called true breed, dwarf plant also called true breed. Okay, true breed, generation after generation. What is a true breed? Generation after generation, the same character is expressed. Hybrid, it is expressing the character in one generation and expressing different character in some other generation. Okay, so hybrid. He crossed this hybrid and he got tall plant as well as dwarf plant. No, to find out the ratio, how many tall plant, how many dwarf plant. See, this one produce capital T, small t, the gametes, capital T, small t, the gametes. So, capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, small t, small t. Whether it is one capital T or two capital T, if the capital T which is representing the dominant character, if it is there, the plant is tall. So this one is both the letters are capitals. So capital T, tall plant. This one capital T is there, so it is tall. Capital T is there, tall. No capital T at all, so dwarf. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 3 tall plant and 1 dwarf plant. 3:1 ratio. He got in F1 generation. So this ratio is formed on the basis of expressed character, which character can be seen. So he called it as a phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio. Now, on the the basis of the genes, whether it is a pure breed or hybrid, it is pure tall. One is pure tall. 1, 2, both are bigs to tall. One is pure dwarf. So 1:2:1 is the genotypic ratio because on the basis of the genes it is representing. Okay, it is formed. So genotypic ratio. Since he selected only one character, he called it as a monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross. Okay. So on the basis of this experiment, he formed the law of dominance. Okay. I hope you have understood the monohybrid cross. Next, we are going to see dihybrid cross. Next, we are going to see dihybrid cross. Monohybrid cross, Mendel had selected only one character. Dihybrid cross, 2 characters. Okay, he selected 2 characters. Let us see by taking more characters what will be the result. He might have thought. Okay, he selected 2 characters. Yellow, round, and green wrinkle. Yellow round seed, green wrinkle seed. The seed shape, the seed coat is smooth, round. The color of the seed is yellow. That is called as yellow round seed. The color, yellow color seed and green color seed is selected. And shape of a seed coat, round shape and wrinkles. If you see the paper and all, the shape will not be, the surface will not be smooth. It has wrinkles like that. Okay. In piece we can see these wrinkled piece and the smooth piece. So he selected these 2 characters. One is color of the seed coat and the one is the shape of the seed coat. Then he crossed the same like monohybrid. He did the crossing and he gave the letters capital Y for yellow color, capital R for round shape, small y for green color, small r for wrinkle shape. Then when he crossed in F1, he got yellow round. Yellow round seed. The character which is expressed in F1 generations are dominant character. So that is why he has given yellow color capital Y, round shape capital R. Okay. Then he select same like monohybrid cross. He select this F1 generation. He got different types of plants also. He got different varieties. Other than these parental varieties, new varieties he found. So in order to explain that one, he used the same checkerboard. F2 generation. So this will produce the gametes, capital Y, capital R, capital Y, small r. Small y, capital R, small y, small r. These are the 4 gametes produced by these F1 hybrid plants. Same like this one. You selected 2 characters, no? So, the checkerboard will be having 16 boxes. Because we got 4 types of gametes. Capital Y, capital R, capital Y, small r. Capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, small r. Same like this here. Capital Y, capital R, capital Y, small r. Small y, capital R, small y, small r. These are the gametes from this parent. These are the gametes from this parent. Now we are going to see what type of plants are formed. See, like this we have to write. Capital Y, capital Y, capital R, capital R. Capital Y, capital Y, capital R, small r. Capital Y, small y, capital R, capital R. Capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. Then this one and this. Capital Y, capital Y, capital R, small r. Capital Y, small r, small r. Capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. Capital Y, small y, small r, small r. Capital Y, small y, capital R, capital R. Capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. Small y, capital R, capital R. Small y, capital R, small r. Then, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. Capital Y, small y, small r, small r. Small y, capital R, small r. Small y, small r, small r. Okay? Now, first we are going to see the color. I already told you whether one gene or 2 genes. One capital letter is there, that is the dominant character. Okay? Whether one capital Y is there or 2 capital Y's are there. Capital Y is there means it is yellow color. Capital Y is not there, then it is green color. Okay? So first we are going to write the plant type with the color. This one is capital Y is there, so yellow. Then this one capital Y is there, yellow. 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 One capital Y is there, yellow. Capital Y is there, yellow. Capital Y is there, yellow. No capital Y at all, so green. No capital Y at all, green. Capital Y is there, so yellow. Capital Y is there, yellow. No capital Y, so green. No capital Y, green. Same like this, for the shape of the seed coat, we are going to see if it is capital R is there, it is round. Capital R is not at all there, it is wrinkled. So capital R is there, it is round. 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 One capital R is there, round. Round. No capital R, only small r is there, so wrinkled. Round. Here, no capital R, so wrinkled. Round. 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 round, round, wrinkle. Capital R is not there, no. This one is round, wrinkle. Now we are going to see the phenotypic ratio. You got yellow round. First we will take yellow round. Yellow round. How many plants are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 yellow round. Okay. Then we will see green round or yellow wrinkle. Yellow wrinkle. Yellow wrinkle 1. Yellow wrinkle 2. Yellow wrinkle 3. So yellow wrinkle 3. Then green round. We finish this boxes. Green round 1, green round 2, green round 3. Then only one is remaining, that is green wrinkle. So this ratio 9:3:3:1. This is the phenotypic ratio of the dihybrid cross. Okay. So on the basis of this, don't go for the genotypic ratio, that you will study in higher classes. It is little bit complicated to find out. In your syllabus, you have this phenotypic ratio only on the basis of the external characters. So on the basis of this experiment, dihybrid cross, he formed the law of segregation and law of independent assortment. When the characters, whether they are dominant character, recessive character, when they are seen together, it is not necessary for them to be together always. It will segregate. And this segregation, is they are not depending upon each other. So independent, they are independent. The characters are independent for segregation. So these are the three laws he formed on the basis of his monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Law of dominance, law of segregation, law of independent assortment. Okay. So with this we are finishing the dihybrid cross. Next class we are going to see the sex-linked inheritance. The characters are, not only the characters are transformed from the parent to the offspring, the disease is also transformed from the parent to the offspring. Okay, that is called sex-linked inheritance. For that, we have to know how the sex is determined in fetus. Okay, how that sex is determined in human being, we are going to see in the next class. Then sex-linked inheritance. Okay.